I've used this app since it was first released. Genuinely thought that it was a good idea back then, though never knew there was more to it than meets the eye.
The third wave of the pandemic continues to ravage the public healthcare system.
Agar situasi ini dapat dilalui tanpa perlu mengulangi, saya sebutkan,
COVID-19 cases recorded has increased by 62.2% to 20,696 between December 10th and December 6th.
It has been too many times in the past week that we have to choose who lives and who dies. We have only one ventilator and we have 3 patients gasping for air. Who gets a shot at living? It's a call that we have to make almost every day. We have been battling the COVID pandemic for more than a year, with no end in sight, and it looks like things are getting worse. My colleagues and I, our mental health is not strong anymore.
Bilangan ujian yang semakin rendah dan pelaporan yang semakin itu, kita masih lagi mengamalkan trace, report, inform, isolate, and seek help, dan kita laporkan ujian ke diri kita melalui MySejahtera.
During the year 2019, a sudden breakout of disease started in Wuhan, China. No one had ever thought that this disease will mark itself onto the main page of our history of this decade. The disease started to spread rapidly throughout the globe via the air. On the 25th January of 2020, the first case of COVID-19 was detected in Malaysia and traced back to 3 Chinese nationals who previously had close contact with an infected person in Singapore. They had travelled into Malaysia via Singapore on the 24th January of 2020. And since then, COVID cases had started to spread in Malaysia and have even reached a maximum amount of 25,000 confirmed cases a day in January 2022. Multiple efforts were put by the government of Malaysia to tackle this issue, including the Movement Control Order, or known as the MCO, held some vaccination and awareness campaign, strengthening the healthcare capacity throughout the clinical area in Malaysia, and lastly, some international cooperation to share information, resources and best practices in combating the spread of COVID-19.
Hi, my name is Miguel. Now we are in the year of 2024, the year of the dragon. They said that the year of the dragon can bring many wealth, strength and also good luck to us people. People are having so much fun because of that fact. But calling back, since 5 years ago, the first breakout of the COVID pandemic in Wuhan, China, Malaysia is no exception. The citizens were all in panic on how treacherous it was. So the government of Malaysia created an app to tackle this issue. So in this video, we are going to learn and uncover 2 major facts about the app and ways to potentially solve it.
Hi, my name is Liam, and I've used the MySejahtera app since the year of 2020, the year of COVID-19. During that time, everything was in havoc. Our people's business and relative were crashing down and losing their jobs. Every single day, more and more people were struggling. Even going outside for any reason were banned for a certain period of time.
In the midst of tragedy during COVID-19, the government has invented and proposed an app that called MySejahtera that's supposedly to help netizens and government itself to notice COVID symptoms yearly, to build a primary nearby healthcare service, and also as a proof for citizens that had their COVID-19 vaccination. But a few people were suspicious and thinks that the MySejahtera app was invented with her hidden agenda while taking advantage of the COVID-19.
EMIR research has highlighted in numerous prior publications regarding MySejahtera mysterious and questionable past, such as the direct appointment of the developer company with no formal contract, the organization leadership, financial and legal trouble in the companies involved of high-profile politically linked individuals and foreign nationals, and potential data securities. The issue regarding the company which is in charge of the making of the app MySejahtera is the company Entomo Malaysia, formerly KPI Soft Malaysia, Government of Malaysia, listed that the biggest shareholder of the company is a Singaporean company. This arises more and more questions on how an app uses solely for Malaysian citizens, specifically for their healthcare data, accepted an outsider company to have the biggest share.
To top it off, the government have been considering acquiring the Scandal Victim app at an exorbitant price. The latter figure reported appears to be a whopping 160 million ringgit. Either way, as pointed out by Public Health Portal Code Blue, the 160 million ringgit figure surpasses the Health Ministry's entire annual radiotherapy and oncology budget for 2020 of 130 million ringgit. To the best of EMIR research knowledge, MySejahtera may be the most expensive pandemic management app in the world by a far margin, extreme opposite outcome to the initial corporate social responsibility (CSR) deal, which is usually meant free of charge in more reasonable parts of the world, that started the whole thing. As in-depth due diligence exercise to protect the government's interests and people money must be conducted, which should have been done before, such as an independent technology assessment, price benchmarking analysis, and independent legal assessment to determine if the legal contracts were fair to begin with.
This could potentially be another big data leak. Aside from one significant case of data leak in Malaysia was the 2017 breach of personal data from the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission (MCMC). In this incident, the personal information of more than 46 million mobile phone subscribers was reportedly compromised. It was one, if not the largest data breaches in Malaysian history, raising concerns about cybersecurity and data protection in the country.
How about the app itself? Let's discuss about the app feature where it labels you as close contact. When you scan the QR code to enter a building or facility, and there are two people in a building. Let's say if one of them is high risk, within 15 minutes the app will label the other person as close contact. This may seem like a good idea at first, but there are many disadvantages to this system. Now let's say if there are two people in a shopping center, one of them is high risk, and the app will label the other person as close contact no matter how far in the building they are.
One day, as I went to work to do my daily check-in and scan the QR code, I suddenly got a call from my boss, and his main reason for answering my question of what's the matter was because I was not meant to go to work that day, as in my MySejahtera app said that I was in close contact with a COVID patient. I filed a case to the app, and they said that I was in a close contact with a patient in a warehouse for about 2 hours. I didn't meet the patient, but as I were doing my work for about 2 hours in an air-conditioned room,
the specific situation was one of the criteria to be a close contact for some reason.
And how did that incident affect your life?
I would say definitely bad, since I am the only person who works in the family, plus two small kids that I have to look after. And for 2 straight weeks, I had to stay home, but the worst part of it all was not being able to see my wife and kids.
Clearly, the feature lacks a few things here and there. But can it be solved or can it be changed entirely? Well, here we're going to meet this UTP student, Mr. Khalid, that specializes in software editing.
Rather than using the old feature where it does not include the probability of those two people far away within the facility, they could automatically, on their Bluetooth, on the devices that had scanned the QR and had certain amount of radius set. So, when a COVID patient and a normal citizen radius overlaps within a certain period, the app will label the citizen as a potential close contact and need to do a checkup as soon as possible to confirm it. So for example, me and you scan the QR code when entering a shop. Our Bluetooth will be on automatically and set at a certain radius. So let's say example for 2 meter radius. So when another 2 meter radius entered yours for 10 minutes, the app will send a notification asking whether both of them are wearing face masks while also telling us the potential close contact and tell us about the nearest facility to update your COVID-19 status. This idea does not consider a complex solution as any normal programmer could think of it.
If what we heard were true, there was such a simple solution to the issue. But why didn't they do it yet? With the overpriced budget and the brains of the organization? Was the voice of our citizens simply not loud enough? Or are they just ignoring the fact?
To summarize, during this video, we had learned so many things about the app MySejahtera, especially the two hidden facts of the app. For the first part, we had learned that the outstanding budget of the MySejahtera app to create it was actually very suspicious. The developer should actually explain on why the budget is expensive to begin with and where did all the money go. Next is the imperfect feature of the app MySejahtera to scan and also to detect high-risk person. We have met an expert, which is Mr. Khalid, a software developer, and he told us that there was a simple solution to solve this issue, but why didn't they use it in the first place?
Many more facts that the app MySejahtera still manage to hide from their user. Whether it is good or bad or even a little bit both is the question asked by us normal citizens. We as normal citizens should not fully believe what we are told, even if it was from the one we love, without researching it by ourselves first. And even if the COVID-19 is in their ending period, the usage of the app MySejahtera is and will still be implemented for other users. So, will we users stay quiet and let the government do whatever they want to us, or is it time for us to take action? It's not that rare for the voice of the citizen to be ignored in a country.